Oh, here you are, Randy and Marina, with both. You got two horses in the Kentucky Derby. So we're talking about you've got Vekoma and you've got Tax, and they took different routes to get here, different trainers. But just talk about speaking of roller coasters, Vekoma's named for the first
company that made roller coasters was a company called Vekoma, and his grandfather's name was Ride the Rails. So you take from Ride the Rails to roller coaster.
And now, speaking of rides, you're on a great ride now. Talk about the ride you are on with these two Derby horses.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you got to say it's an incredible thing happening for both of us. I've been in the game a long time, 20 years, and I guess you want to get to the Derby. That's every horse owner's dream. And so I've never been there, and to get there with two, it's like sometimes I say to my wife, if I'm dreaming, don't wake me up. Better not let me keep dreaming. So we're standing on top of the clouds.
Talk about both horses. Let's start with Vekoma, that's coming off victory in the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. Nice horse, only run 4 times, won 3 of those. Just how he's doing and your confidence going into the Kentucky Derby with him.
Well, he's done everything we've asked. You can't ask anything more of a horse. I give George Weaver, the trainer, a lot of patience. Give George a lot of credit. He's been very patient with this horse, and it's a young horse. This horse won't be 3 until May 22nd. After the Preakness. As a matter of fact, that was the day that horse was born on the day we met, May 22nd.
That's a good sign.
A little bit of faith. So George was patient with the horse, and we went after we won the Nashua. There was a lot of pressure on George to run him into Remsen. He said no. It was kind of as I say, a young horse and a small horse. So he wanted to give him the time off. When he ran in the Fountain of Youth, I mean, I was so pleased with that race. A lot of people, of course, I would have liked to have won the race, but he came out. I was happy as I could be after a 4-month layoff, and it looked like he was set to take a step forward. And I believe the same thing now. I'm hoping he's going to take a step forward.
And Tax, and Marina, you're wearing it's Tax Time T-shirt there.
Yeah, we're changing the T-shirts. Tomorrow I'm going to wear Vekoma and my husband is going to wear Tax. We love both horses. Tax is a beautiful horse, very strong and fast, and he's doing great.
He is a beautiful horse, and you claimed him, and that's not normally the way you get to the Kentucky Derby. But talk about the decision to put a halter on Tax and claim him for $50,000, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was Danny's decision. And Danny actually, when Danny claimed that horse, he called me and asked if I wanted to have a piece of it, because a lot of times I go in when Danny claims horses. And I turned him down because I had so many horses. I said, Danny, I have enough. And then after he won the Remsen, I called Danny up. I said, okay, you got to let me back in. So I think he was such a well-bred horse. I mean, he was born to running the Triple Crown. I mean, his breeding speaks of that. And so
he's a Claiborne horse, Claiborne bred. So that's about enough said right there.
He's actually there, And so I think that when Danny looked at him, it was a Claiborne horse. And he looked at his breeding, and he thought he couldn't get hurt with the horse, and it just got better and better. And I think that the race he ran in the Wood, I feel the same way. He came off almost a 2-month layoff, and I think that race set him up to step forward here. So, and I think we're lucky this year to be in a Derby where you don't have to justify. A lot of times you come into a Derby and there's a horse you can't beat, and you're going to run for second unless something weird happens. This is a wide open Derby. I wouldn't be surprised if the favorite's 7-2 or 4-1. So I don't think the odds mean anything to me in this Derby. I think that there's 5 or 6 horses that can win, and I think we've got 2 of them.